Assalamualaikum and a very good day I wish to all audience that attend to see this forum. Welcome to all of the audience. My name is Aisyah Rusnida binti Rusdin. Today we would like to highlight a topic that is quite interesting to be discussed. Our discussion topic today is teenage problem with their parents. Before we proceed to discuss this very interesting topic, I would like to introduce our panelists. With us today is Miss Alia Safi binti Ahmad Aizam, Miss Aida Izzati binti Ismail, Miss Amy Natasha binti Ruzi, and Miss Aina Najiha binti Abdul Samad. Welcome to our panels to be in this discussion. Today we'll be discussing about the biggest teenage problem with their parents. To begin this forum discussion, I would like to ask Miss Alia Safi, what is the biggest problem about teenage with their parents?
Autonomy in family means that supportive family. Every member of the family help each other in their hard moment. But in the modern era, autonomy gradually disappears because of multiple issues. Example, parents' mindset only view depends on how to make money for their family, but they forgot to spend time with their children and family. There are many cases in recent years that kids suicide because having depression and parents not helping them with the bullying case at school. Besides, there are also many cases in recent years that kids suicide because of parents not giving them attention because they're too busy with their work and make money for their children. Parents are among of the most important people in the life of young children. So I think parents need to be friends with their children so that their child will share a lot of story and their autonomy will not happen. Research suggests that kids do better when their parents show affection and enforce age appropriate limits on their children's behavior. By growing up in a bad example of parent, it will lead to bad autonomy. Parents' action will make what their kids be in future. Example, a father that smoking cigarette in front of the children. This will likely normalize that kid to do what his father do. This prime example will be likely same for others kind of teenager issue. The children also can be rude, like maybe certain parents are always busy with their work, so there's no time for the children, and the children will be like, oh, I think it's okay if I do this to my parents and blah blah blah. So if you didn't give your children attention, the bad attitude will happen to your children.
Thank you so much Miss Alia Safi for those explanation about the first problem. For further our discussion, I will ask Miss Aida Izzati about the second biggest teenage problem with their parents.
The biggest teenage problem with parents is also communication. What is communication? Communication is the act of giving, receiving, and sharing information, in other words, talking or writing, and listening to or reading. Good communicators listen carefully, speak or write clearly, and respect different opinions. What issue that can affect communication with teenagers? The task of a youngster is to mature into an independent adult. As a parent, you must assist your children in this process. Decision can now be made in a group setting. Parents need to try to talk things over with your teen to come up with a solution that both of you can live with. Young people may hold opposing ideas or participate in activity that you aren't familiar with. Try to think of this as a positive thing. They are learning to stand on their own 2 feet. No matter how old your child is, you will always feel responsible for their well-being and protection. When children reach the age of adolescence, they begin to make their own choices. They make mistakes from time to time. Instead of criticizing, try to be supportive. Hopefully, their mistake will teach them valuable lessons. Both parents and children must take time to care of themselves during this period of continual change. General communication tips with teenagers. Remember that we all have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so listen more than you speak. This serves as a reminder that we should listen twice as much as we speak. This is especially true when speaking with teenagers who may provide more information if we remain silent long enough to allow them to do so. Then parents need to make time for each other. Teenagers are generally preoccupied with school, friends, and other activities, but you can talk to them during breakfast and dinner. Or you will offer to drive them to or pick them up from places that you may have more interaction with them. What is negative communication with teenagers? Chronic conflict is frequently caused by negative communication. Negative communication might take the form of nagging, harsh criticism, or standover technique like yelling to demand complaint. Negative communication is not always easy to spot. For example, while intention, parents may criticize in order to motivate their children to work harder. If you do any of the following, you are utilizing negative communication. You can turn negative communication into positive. Make suggestions for improvement. Recognize and applaud their accomplishment. They will recognize when they have made a mistake and will not need to be warned by you. When you encourage, set a positive example by apologizing. Listen more and talk less. As a parent, you must take the time to listen. You may be amazed at how much information teenagers will share with you if they believe they are being heard. Here are some ideas you can take when they speak to you. Pay attention. Stop what you are doing, look them in the eyes, and don't interrupt them. For example, recognize that your adolescent has unique perspective on the world. Respect their thoughts and treat them as your world a friend. Don't make assumptions or try to read people's mind. Listen. If you don't listen respectfully, young people will stop communicating. Things to remember. Negative communication between parents and teenagers is a common source of conflict. Respect your teenager's thought and recognize that he or she has a different perspective on the world. In comparison with your adolescent, establish realistic house rules. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aida Izzati, for the explanation, which is common we heard in about teenage problem with their parents. Move on to our third panelist, Miss Amy Natasha. I would like to ask you, what is the third biggest teenage problem with their parents?
Sometimes teenagers have problems with parents because of lack of attention from parents. The majority parents are unaware that they have neglected their children, especially if the husband and wife are both busy with work. Time with the children is limited. Thus, these teenagers will feel neglected and not get attention from their parents. Finally, children do their own thing and even worse, commit criminal things because they want attention from their parents. Teenagers lose attention from their parents not only because of parents who are always busy with work. There are also parents who like to compare children either with their siblings, relatives, or with neighbor children. This causes children to have to work beyond their means simply to attention from their parents. As a result, teenagers who experience this situation will experience stress that bad. Thus, parents should try to spend time with children and pay more attention to children, their mentally and physically, as well as supporting the interests of children, as long as it does not conflict with religion. It's okay. In addition, parents should also accept their advantage and disadvantage with an open heart. Not necessarily if a teenager has shortcomings, it will be a bad thing for them, but also can be advantage for them. Parents should also always be with the children if they go through a difficult time. With this, they will feel loved and have received enough attention from parents.
Thank you, Miss Amy Natasha, for the explanation. Now, for the last panelist in our forum discussion, Miss Aina Najiha, I would like to ask you for explanation why is media and technology is one of the biggest problem about teenage with their parents. Media and technology are very common in teenage life as it is their source of communication and activities. So, how about your opinion about this matter, Miss Aina?
Thank you, moderator. Many teenagers now have their own smartphone which offer a handheld portal to entertainment, social media and other distractions. They are instant messaging constantly, checking their social media, listening to music, surfing their favorite website and watching televisions or movies. But subconsciously, they are creating a gap in family because lacks of communication with their parents when they are using the technology with an unlimited time. They will become more easily influenced by negative cultures that shown at media social, which is stealing, robbery and vandalism. When the teens commit a crime that they see on the social media and arrested by the police, who needs a family to guarantee them out, their family will feel embarrassed and angry, which cause the teens' relationship with the family getting worse. Lastly, they will getting more aggressive and commit more major crimes. So, parents should limiting the time of internet use to children in early age, considering the internet is included in the media and technology factors that cause teenagers to have problems with their family.
Thank you so much for the explanation about the last biggest problem about teenage with their parents, Miss Aina. Now, we have come to an end of our forum discussion. I would like to thank our panelists, Miss Alia Safi binti Aizam, Miss Aida Izzati binti Ismail, Miss Amy Natasha binti Ruzi, and Miss Aina Najiha binti Abu Samad. Thanks for sharing an information and opinions with us today. Thank you once again until we meet again in another forum. That's all from us. Thank you.